Hey everyone who's listening. Here is the channel UFO Dreams. In this video, you'll hear the mysterious story of Antarctica's greatest UFO encounters and alien theories in the style of a calm documentary story for sleep. We'll explore the hidden secrets beneath the ice, from Admiral Byrd's controversial expedition to modern whistleblower testimonies about extraterrestrial presence in the frozen continent. Make yourself comfortable and enjoy this journey through Antarctica's most intriguing mysteries. I would be really happy if you write in the comments where you're listening to this from. We are starting our expedition into the unknown. Prologue. Into the endless white narrator. In the deepest silence of night, we embark on a journey to Earth's most mysterious continent, Antarctica. A land where ice speaks in whispers of ancient secrets, where the aurora australis dances across star-filled skies, and where the boundaries between the known and unknown blur like snow meeting infinity. Tonight, as you rest comfortably, let your mind drift across 14 million square kilometers of pristine wilderness, where temperatures plunge to -80 degrees Celsius. And where darkness reigns for months at a time. This is a land governed not just by the laws of physics, but by international treaty, a continent set aside for peace and scientific research, yet one that harbors mysteries that challenge our understanding of history, science, and our place in the cosmos. For over a century, Antarctica has attracted explorers, scientists, and adventurers. But beneath the official narratives of scientific discovery and heroic exploration lies another story, one of unexplained phenomena, classified encounters, and testimonies that suggest we are not alone in this vast, frozen wilderness. Chapter 1. The Deception Island Incident, July 1965. Our journey into Antarctica's UFO mysteries begins on a small volcanic island in the Antarctic Peninsula. Deception Island, a name that would prove prophetic, sits like a horseshoe in the Southern Ocean, its caldera flooded by dark Antarctic waters. In the austral winter of 1965, this remote outpost would become the epicenter of one of the most thoroughly documented UFO encounters in polar history. Picture the scene, July 2, 1965. The polar night has descended, bringing with it months of darkness punctuated only by the ethereal glow of the aurora australis. 3 research stations, Argentine, Chilean, and British, maintain their lonely vigils on this volcanic island, their windows glowing warmly against the endless Antarctic night. At precisely 7:30 p.m. local time, the first sighting begins. Argentine personnel at Base Deception observe brilliant lights moving across the star-filled sky in formations unlike any known aircraft. The objects display an extraordinary range of colors, violet fading to purple, silver streaking to brilliant white, hovering and maneuvering with impossible precision against the backdrop of the southern constellations. But this is no isolated sighting by a single observer suffering from polar madness or altitude sickness. Simultaneously, 17 kilometers away at the Chilean base, personnel are witnessing identical phenomena. Their radio communications crackle across the ice as they confirm the same unusual lights, the same impossible maneuvers, the same silent dance across the Antarctic heavens. Most remarkably, at the British Meteorological Station, 4 trained scientists led by an experienced meteorologist observe the phenomenon for a full 20 minutes. These are not untrained civilians or adventure tourists prone to misidentification. These are professionals familiar with atmospheric phenomena, weather balloons, aurora displays, and aircraft behavior. Their detailed observations would later form the backbone of an official report filed with the British Ministry of Defence. The British Antarctic Survey, under the direction of Sir Vivian Fuchs, the renowned polar explorer who had completed the first overland crossing of Antarctica just 7 years earlier, took these reports seriously. On October 22, 1965, a formal document was submitted to the Minister of Defense. This classified report, now declassified and available in British archives, bears no redactions, no blacked-out sections, no erasures. It stands as one of the most complete official UFO documents ever filed by a government agency. The report describes objects moving in coordinated patterns at altitudes and speeds that defied the capabilities of any known aircraft of the era. The witnesses described the objects as completely silent, emitting no engine noise, no jet exhaust, no helicopter rotor sounds that would be expected from conventional aircraft operating in the thin Antarctic air. What makes this case extraordinary is its multinational character. 3 different countries, 3 different research teams, 3 different motivations for being in Antarctica, all witnessed and documented the same phenomena. The Argentine report noted similar sightings on June 7th, June 20th, and July 3rd. The Chilean observers confirmed the timing and description of the objects. The British provided the most detailed scientific analysis. Skeptics have suggested various explanations: unusual aurora displays, ice crystals refracting starlight, or experimental aircraft from one of the many Antarctic research programs. However, none of these explanations account for the object's coordinated movements, their ability to hover and accelerate rapidly, or their complete silence in an environment where sound carries for kilometers across the ice. The Deception Island incident remains one of the most credible UFO encounters in Antarctic history. It sets the stage for a pattern of unusual phenomena that would continue to emerge from the frozen continent over the following decades. Chapter 2: Admiral Byrd and Operation Highjump, the 1947 expedition. As we delve deeper into Antarctica's mysteries, we encounter one of the most controversial figures in polar exploration, Admiral Richard Evelyn Byrd. A decorated naval aviator, polar explorer, and recipient of the Medal of Honor, Byrd had already made history with flights over both poles when he embarked on his most enigmatic expedition. Operation Highjump officially launched on August 26, 1946, representing the largest Antarctic expedition in history. 13 ships, 33 aircraft, and over 4,000 personnel. This was no routine scientific mission but a massive military operation disguised as polar research. The official objectives included testing equipment in polar conditions, training personnel for cold weather operations, and extending American sovereignty claims in Antarctica. But Operation Highjump would end abruptly after just 8 weeks, half of its planned duration. What happened during those brief Antarctic summer months has fueled speculation and conspiracy theories for over 75 years. According to Admiral Byrd's alleged secret diary, a document whose authenticity remains hotly debated, the expedition encountered phenomena that defied all conventional explanation. The diary describes flights over regions of unusual warmth, the discovery of ice-free valleys containing vegetation and wildlife, and most remarkably, encounters with disc-shaped aircraft displaying technology far beyond anything known in 1947. The diary's most extraordinary passages describe Byrd's aircraft being guided by unknown forces to a hidden valley where temperatures inexplicably rise to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. There, according to these controversial accounts, Byrd encounters tall, pale beings who express concern about humanity's recent development of nuclear weapons, technology that had emerged just 2 years earlier with the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. These beings, described as technologically advanced yet deeply concerned about human aggression, allegedly warned Byrd about the dangers of nuclear proliferation. They speak of underground civilizations that have watched humanity's progress with growing alarm. The diary describes vast cavern systems beneath the Antarctic ice, warmed by geothermal energy, and supporting an advanced civilization that has remained hidden from the surface world for millennia. Whether authentic or fictional, the timing of these alleged encounters is remarkable. The world in 1947 stood on the brink of the Cold War. Nuclear weapons had demonstrated their terrifying potential. The United States and Soviet Union were beginning their decades-long arms race. If extraterrestrial or underground civilizations were monitoring human development, the immediate post-war period would have been a logical time for contact or intervention. But the secret diary is not the only mysterious element of Operation Highjump. Upon returning to Chile, Admiral Byrd gave an interview to El Mercurio newspaper in which he made a cryptic warning about the need for America to prepare for the possibility of attack by flying objects that could travel from pole to pole at incredible speeds. This public statement, documented in Chilean newspapers, came at a time when the term flying saucer had barely entered popular vocabulary. Byrd's warning proved prophetic. Within months of his return from Antarctica, the modern UFO era began with Kenneth Arnold's famous sighting of flying saucers over Mount Rainier in Washington state. The Roswell incident followed shortly thereafter. Had Byrd encountered evidence of aerial phenomena that would soon manifest worldwide? The official records of Operation Highjump remain largely classified. What we know comes from scattered documents, personnel interviews conducted decades later, and Admiral Byrd's own public statements. The mission's abrupt termination, the heavy military presence, and the subsequent secrecy surrounding its findings continue to fuel speculation about what was really discovered in the Antarctic wilderness. Some researchers have suggested that Operation Highjump was actually a covert military action against hypothetical Nazi installations that might have been established in Antarctica during World War II. Others propose that the expedition encountered evidence of extraterrestrial presence, forcing an immediate reassessment of America's understanding of aerial phenomena and national security. What remains undisputed is that Operation Highjump marked a turning point in Antarctic exploration. The mission's findings, whatever they were, influenced American policy toward Antarctica for decades to come. The Antarctic Treaty of 1961, which designated the continent as a scientific preserve and prohibited military activities, may have been partly motivated by discoveries made during Byrd's controversial expedition. Chapter 3: The Nazi-Antarctica Connection and Hidden Bases. Long before Operation Highjump, Antarctica had attracted the attention of Nazi Germany. The German Antarctic expedition of 1938–39 officially sought to establish whaling territories and counter Norwegian territorial claims. But conspiracy theorists have woven this historical expedition into tales of secret bases and advanced technology. The facts are these: Nazi Germany did send the vessel Schwabenland to Antarctica, where they conducted aerial surveys and dropped swastika-marked territorial markers across Queen Maud Land. The expedition mapped over 600,000 square kilometers of previously unknown territory, naming it Neuschwabenland. 2 German U-boats, U-530 and U-977, did surrender in Argentina 2 months after Germany's defeat, carrying more supplies and personnel than typical for submarines of their class. These documented events became the foundation for theories suggesting Nazi scientists established hidden Antarctic installations, possibly incorporating advanced technology encountered through unknown means. Some researchers propose that Operation Highjump was actually a military mission to eliminate these hypothetical installations, explaining its sudden termination and classified nature. The theory gained traction when researchers discovered that many high-ranking Nazi officials, including Martin Bormann and other members of Hitler's inner circle, had disappeared without trace at the war's end. While most historians believe these individuals died in the final days of the Reich or escaped to South America, conspiracy theorists suggest they might have fled to secret Antarctic bases. More intriguingly, declassified documents from Operation Paperclip reveal that the United States actively recruited German rocket scientists, aircraft designers, and other technical specialists after the war. Werner von Braun, who designed the V-2 rocket and later helped develop the Saturn V moon rocket, was among hundreds of German scientists who were secretly brought to America. If German scientists had developed revolutionary propulsion technologies, possibly reverse-engineered from recovered extraterrestrial craft, Antarctic bases would have provided the perfect location for continued research. The continent's remoteness, extreme climate, and lack of oversight would have made it an ideal laboratory for advanced technology development. The Nazi Antarctica theory intersects with reports of unusual aircraft sightings in the late 1940s and early 1950s. Many early UFO reports described disc-shaped or triangular craft that bore striking similarities to experimental German aircraft designs from the final years of World War II. The Horten Ho 229, a jet-powered flying wing aircraft, looked remarkably similar to modern descriptions of triangular UFOs. While no definitive evidence supports these extraordinary claims, the secrecy surrounding both the Nazi expedition's full findings and Operation Highjump's abrupt conclusion continues to fuel speculation about what really lies beneath Antarctica's ice. Recent satellite imagery has revealed unusual geometric formations beneath the ice sheet, including what appear to be large structures arranged in precise patterns that some researchers claim could be artificial installations. The idea of Nazi UFO connections has been thoroughly debunked by mainstream historians, who point out that German wartime aircraft technology, while advanced, was still decades away from achieving the performance characteristics described in UFO reports. However, the persistence of these theories reflects a deeper mystery about what various nations might have discovered, or built, in Antarctica's hidden valleys and ice-covered regions. Chapter 4. Lake Vostok and the Underground Civilization Theory. Buried beneath nearly 4 kilometers of Antarctic ice lies Lake Vostok, a freshwater lake larger than Lake Ontario that has remained sealed from the surface world for 15 to 25 million years. Discovered through satellite imagery and ice-penetrating radar, this ancient body of water represents one of Earth's last unexplored frontiers. When Russian scientists finally breached Lake Vostok in 2012 after decades of careful drilling, they entered a world untouched since before human evolution began. The lake's conditions, liquid water beneath massive ice sheets, complete darkness, and potential geothermal energy sources, mirror what scientists believe exists on Jupiter's moon Europa and Saturn's moon Enceladus. But Lake Vostok holds deeper mysteries than microbial life. Satellite surveys have detected unusual magnetic anomalies beneath the ice, formations that don't conform to known geological patterns. Some researchers speculate these could indicate artificial structures, perhaps remnants of ancient civilizations that thrived in Antarctica during warmer epochs, or installations of non-terrestrial origin. The lake's discovery has revealed that Antarctica harbors an entire hidden hydrological system. Over 400 subglacial lakes have now been identified beneath the continent's ice sheet, connected by a network of underground rivers and channels. This vast hidden ecosystem, completely isolated from the surface world for millions of years, has evolved unique forms of life that challenge our understanding of biological possibilities. In Lake Vostok's ancient waters, scientists have discovered microorganisms that survive in conditions of extreme pressure, complete darkness, and temperatures near freezing. These extremophile bacteria have adapted to an environment devoid of sunlight, deriving energy from chemical processes rather than photosynthesis. Their existence suggests that life could survive in similar conditions on other worlds. But some researchers propose more extraordinary possibilities. The lake's isolation, its vast size, and the mysterious magnetic anomalies detected in its vicinity have led to speculation about whether Lake Vostok might harbor more than just microorganisms. Could an advanced civilization have taken refuge in this underground ocean during some ancient cataclysm that transformed Antarctica from a temperate continent into a frozen wasteland? The timing would align with known climate changes. Geological evidence shows that Antarctica experienced dramatic warming and cooling cycles throughout its history. As recently as 34 million years ago, the continent supported lush forests and diverse ecosystems. If an advanced civilization had existed during these warmer periods, they might have retreated underground as the ice ages began. Whistleblower accounts from military personnel describe restricted flight zones over certain Antarctic regions due to strange magnetic anomalies, and sightings of massive, dome-like structures protruding from the ice. While these claims remain unverified, Lake Vostok's unique properties and the extreme secrecy surrounding certain research activities continue to generate speculation about what truly lies beneath the ice. The Russian drilling project itself has been shrouded in unusual secrecy. While officially described as a purely scientific endeavor to study ancient climate conditions and extremophile life forms, some researchers note the project's military oversight and the restricted access to drilling sites. The Russians have also reported encounters with unusual resistance during drilling operations, as if the drill bit were encountering artificial structures rather than natural ice formations. More intriguingly, seismic studies of Lake Vostok have revealed acoustic anomalies that some researchers interpret as evidence of artificial structures or machinery operating beneath the ice. These sound patterns, detected by sensitive hydrophones lowered into the lake, include regular rhythmic pulses that don't match any known natural phenomena. Chapter 5. The Piri Reis Map and Ancient Antarctic Civilizations in 1929, a remarkable discovery in the Topkapi Palace Library in Istanbul would challenge conventional understanding of both history and geography. Gustav Adolf Deissmann, a German theologian, uncovered a fragmentary world map drawn on gazelle skin parchment by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis in 1513. The Piri Reis map incorporates geographical knowledge that should not have existed in the early 16th century. Most remarkably, the map appears to show the northern coastline of Antarctica, a continent that would not be officially discovered until 1820, over 3 centuries after the map's creation. But the mystery deepens further. The Antarctic coastline depicted on the Piri Reis map shows the continent without its ice cap, revealing geographical features that match modern bathymetric surveys of the bedrock beneath Antarctica's ice sheet. This suggests that whoever provided the source material for Piri Reis had access to geographical knowledge of Antarctica from a time when the continent was ice-free. Geological evidence indicates that Antarctica has been covered by ice sheets for at least 15 million years. However, the continent has experienced periods of partial warming even in recent geological time. Ice core data shows that significant portions of Antarctica were ice-free as recently as the Pliocene epoch, approximately 3 to 5 million years ago. More intriguingly, some geological studies suggest that localized areas of Antarctica might have remained ice-free much more recently. The Dry Valleys region, for example, has been ice-free for millions of years and supports unique ecosystems adapted to extreme cold and aridity. Could similar ice-free regions have existed in other parts of Antarctica within the time frame of human civilization? The map's accuracy regarding other geographical features lends credibility to its Antarctic depictions. Piri Reis claimed to have compiled his map from 20 different source maps, including charts used by Christopher Columbus and ancient maps dating back to the time of Alexander the Great. This suggests that the geographical knowledge incorporated into the map drew from sources spanning many centuries, possibly including ancient civilizations with advanced navigational capabilities. Some researchers propose that the Piri Reis map preserves cartographical knowledge from a lost civilization that existed during a warmer period in Earth's history, when Antarctica was partially ice-free and possibly habitable. This civilization might have possessed advanced navigational and surveying techniques, allowing them to accurately map distant continents, including Antarctica's ice-free coastline. The map also depicts South America with remarkable accuracy for its time, including the precise outline of the Andes Mountains and the mouths of the Amazon River system. Such detailed geographical knowledge suggests that whoever provided the source material had conducted extensive exploration and mapping of both known and unknown continents. Alternative researchers have suggested even more extraordinary possibilities. Could the Piri Reis map preserve evidence of ancient astronaut visitors who surveyed Earth from orbit, creating accurate maps of all continents including ice-free Antarctica? The map's bird's-eye perspective and mathematical precision might support such interpretations, though mainstream scholars dismiss these theories as unfounded speculation. What remains undisputed is that the Piri Reis map contains geographical knowledge that challenges conventional understanding of exploration history. Whether this knowledge came from advanced ancient civilizations, sophisticated maritime cultures, or other sources, the map suggests that human understanding of world geography was far more advanced in antiquity than previously believed. Chapter 6. Modern Encounters at McMurdo Station. McMurdo Station, established in 1956 on Ross Island, serves as the largest research station in Antarctica and the logistics hub for American Antarctic operations. Home to over 1,000 researchers and support personnel during the austral summer, McMurdo has also become the focal point for numerous unexplained aerial phenomena reports spanning several decades. Military and civilian personnel stationed at McMurdo have reported routine observations of silver, disc-shaped objects performing impossible maneuvers over the frozen continent. These encounters often involve multiple witnesses, radar confirmations, and photographic evidence that military authorities have classified or confiscated. One of the most detailed accounts comes from a C-130 Hercules transport crew flying between Christchurch, New Zealand, and McMurdo Station in the 1990s. According to testimony from crew members, their aircraft encountered a strange atmospheric phenomenon during the flight, a glowing haze that surrounded the plane and caused all electrical systems to malfunction. The crew reported that their engines stopped functioning, yet the aircraft continued to fly normally for over an hour. During this time, they observed glowing objects maintaining formation around their aircraft. The phenomena allowed them to photograph the objects through the aircraft's windows, capturing images that were later confiscated by military authorities. Most remarkably, when the aircraft landed at McMurdo, ground crews discovered that all metallic cargo had mysteriously lost significant weight. Heavy construction equipment that should have required machinery to unload could be moved by hand. Steel tools and machinery had been reduced to a fraction of their normal weight, while aluminum and other non-ferrous metals were unaffected. This mass reduction phenomenon has been reported in other Antarctic encounters, suggesting some form of advanced technology capable of manipulating the fundamental properties of matter. The crew's testimony describes a technology that seems to operate outside known laws of physics, able to suspend aircraft in flight, while simultaneously altering the molecular structure of metallic objects. Naval personnel have reported discovering artificial structures protruding from the Antarctic ice during routine reconnaissance flights. These structures, described as metallic and geometric in appearance, don't match any known research installations or natural formations. Some witnesses describe seeing entrances to underground facilities, protected by what appeared to be advanced camouflage or cloaking technology. A particularly credible account comes from a retired Navy SEAL, known only by the pseudonym Spartan 1, who participated in a classified mission to Antarctica in 2003. According to his testimony to researcher Linda Moulton Howe, the mission involved investigating an octagonal structure that had been discovered protruding from the ice in a remote region of the continent. The structure, according to this account, was clearly artificial and appeared to be much older than any known human presence in Antarctica. Most remarkably, the interior walls contained what appeared to be star maps showing constellation patterns from thousands of years ago, suggesting the structure predated known human civilization. The SEAL's account describes encountering non-human entities within the structure, tall, pale beings with advanced technology who seemed to be expecting the human visitors. The beings allegedly communicated telepathically and expressed concern about humanity's impact on Earth's environment and its development of nuclear weapons. Medical evacuation flights from McMurdo have reported discovering unusual openings in the ice, perfectly circular holes hundreds of feet in diameter with tracks leading into underground caverns. These discoveries suggest the existence of extensive tunnel systems beneath the Antarctic ice, possibly connecting to the subglacial lake networks that scientists have identified through seismic surveys. Ground personnel at McMurdo have reported equipment malfunctions in certain areas of the base, particularly near long-range communication arrays and scientific instruments. These malfunctions often coincide with sightings of unusual aerial phenomena, suggesting some form of electromagnetic interference from unknown sources. The frequency of unusual encounters at McMurdo has led to unofficial protocols among station personnel for reporting and handling anomalous phenomena. Veterans of multiple Antarctic deployments describe a culture of secrecy surrounding these encounters, with military authorities routinely debriefing witnesses and confiscating photographic evidence. Chapter 7: The Blood Falls Mystery and Subterranean Life in the Remote Taylor Valley of Antarctica's Dry Valleys region. A geological phenomenon has puzzled scientists for over a century. Blood Falls, discovered by Australian geologist Griffith Taylor in 1911, appears as a crimson waterfall pouring from the Taylor Glacier into Lake Bonny. The blood-red coloration initially led scientists to theorize that red algae caused the unusual hue. However, subsequent research revealed a far more extraordinary explanation. The red color results from iron-rich brine that has been trapped beneath the glacier for nearly 2 million years. This ancient brine originates from a subglacial reservoir that may represent remnants of an ancient sea that once covered the Taylor Valley when Antarctica had a warmer climate. The high salt content prevents the water from freezing completely, allowing it to flow through channels within the glacier despite temperatures well below freezing. When this iron-rich brine reaches the surface and contacts atmospheric oxygen, the iron oxidizes rapidly, creating the striking blood-red coloration that gives the phenomenon its dramatic name. The process is essentially rusting on a massive scale, producing a spectacle that appears almost supernatural against Antarctica's pristine white landscape. But Blood Falls represents more than just a geological curiosity. The subglacial ecosystem that feeds the falls has been completely isolated from the surface world for millions of years, yet it supports a thriving community of extremophile microorganisms. These bacteria have evolved to survive in conditions of extreme cold, high salinity, complete darkness, and virtually no oxygen. The discovery of this isolated ecosystem has profound implications for astrobiology and the search for life on other worlds. The conditions in the subglacial reservoir beneath Taylor Glacier closely mirror those believed to exist in the subsurface oceans of Jupiter's moon Europa and Saturn's moon Enceladus. Recent studies using ground-penetrating radar and seismic surveys have revealed that the subglacial system feeding Blood Falls is far more extensive than previously imagined. The underground network includes multiple interconnected reservoirs and channels that may extend for hundreds of kilometers beneath the Antarctic ice sheet. Some researchers have noted unusual characteristics of the Blood Falls ecosystem that don't entirely fit conventional biological models. The microbial communities exhibit unusually high levels of genetic diversity for such an isolated environment, suggesting either extremely rapid evolution or the possibility of genetic material from external sources. The subglacial reservoirs also display temperature anomalies that don't match expected geothermal patterns. Some areas of the underground system maintain temperatures significantly warmer than surrounding regions, suggesting either unknown geothermal sources or alternative heating mechanisms. Acoustic monitoring of the Blood Falls region has detected unusual sound patterns emanating from deep within the glacier. These sounds include regular rhythmic pulses and harmonic frequencies that some researchers interpret as evidence of ongoing geological processes, while others suggest they might indicate artificial or technological sources. The extreme secrecy surrounding certain research activities in the Dry Valleys region has led to speculation about discoveries that haven't been publicly disclosed. Military helicopters from McMurdo Station conduct regular flights over Blood Falls and the surrounding area, often in patterns that suggest surveillance or monitoring rather than scientific research. Local atmospheric anomalies in the Blood Falls area include unusual electromagnetic readings and fluctuations in magnetic field strength that don't correspond to known geological features. These anomalies sometimes correlate with increased flow rates from the falls and changes in the color intensity of the discharged brine. The Blood Falls phenomenon serves as a window into Antarctica's hidden subterranean world, a realm that may harbor not only unique ecosystems, but possibly evidence of more extraordinary phenomena. The ancient reservoirs beneath the ice preserve not only primitive life forms but potentially clues to Antarctica's mysterious past and its ongoing role as a source of unexplained phenomena. Chapter 8: Google Earth Anomalies and Satellite Discoveries. The advent of high-resolution satellite imagery and public access to platforms like Google Earth has revolutionized the study of Antarctica's mysterious features. Amateur researchers and professional scientists alike have identified numerous anomalous structures and formations across the continent that challenge conventional explanations. Some of the most intriguing discoveries include perfectly geometric structures beneath the ice that appear artificial in origin. These formations include rectangular, and triangular shapes arranged in precise patterns that don't match any known natural processes. The structures range in size from small installations to massive complexes spanning several kilometers. One particularly striking discovery involves what appears to be a massive doorway or entrance carved into a mountainside in the Antarctic interior. The opening displays perfectly straight edges and geometric precision that would be impossible to achieve through natural erosion. The structure measures approximately 40 meters in height and 20 meters in width, suggesting it was designed for large-scale access. Satellite imagery has also revealed unusual circular formations in the ice that some researchers interpret as evidence of underground structures or installations. These circular patterns appear as darker regions in the ice with geometrically perfect boundaries, suggesting they may result from heat sources beneath the surface. More enigmatic are the discovery of what appear to be ancient pyramidal structures protruding from the ice in several locations across Antarctica. While geological explanations suggest these formations result from natural processes of erosion and glacial activity, their remarkable symmetry and mathematical proportions have led some researchers to propose artificial origins. The most controversial satellite discoveries involve apparent artificial structures that seem to be actively maintained or modified. Time-lapse satellite imagery shows changes in certain geometric formations over periods of years, suggesting ongoing activity rather than static archaeological remains. Researchers have identified what appear to be landing strips or airfield-like structures in remote regions of Antarctica. These formations display the straight lines and precise dimensions characteristic of artificially constructed runways, yet they exist in areas where no official human installations have been recorded. Google Earth users have documented numerous anomalous objects partially buried in the ice that display metallic or reflective properties. These objects often have streamlined, aerodynamic shapes that don't match any known natural formations or conventional human technology. Some of the most puzzling discoveries involve structures that appear to be underwater or beneath ice sheets, visible only through satellite imagery using specific spectral filters. These submerged formations include what appear to be large geometric complexes with clear architectural features. The patterns of censorship and image obscuration on satellite platforms have also drawn attention from researchers. Certain regions of Antarctica display pixelated or blurred areas in satellite imagery, suggesting that some installations or formations are deliberately hidden from public view. Military flight restrictions and no-fly zones over specific Antarctic regions correlate with locations where satellite imagery has revealed unusual formations. These restricted areas often coincide with the most geometrically perfect or obviously artificial structures identified through satellite analysis. The discovery of these anomalous structures has led to increased scientific interest in ground truth verification. However, the extreme remoteness and harsh conditions of many sites make direct investigation challenging. Many of the most intriguing discoveries are located hundreds of kilometers from the nearest research stations. Recent advances in satellite technology have revealed even more detailed views of Antarctic anomalies. Higher resolution imagery has shown fine structural details of geometric formations, including what appear to be internal chambers, connecting passages, and sophisticated architectural elements. Chapter 9. The IceCube Neutrino Observatory and underground installations buried deep in the Antarctic ice near the South Pole lies one of the most sophisticated scientific instruments ever constructed, the IceCube Neutrino Observatory. This massive detector, completed in 2010, consists of over 5,000 digital optical modules suspended on cables and holes drilled up to 2 5 kilometers deep in the ice. The official purpose of IceCube is to detect high-energy neutrinos from cosmic sources, providing insights into the most energetic processes in the universe. However, the observatory's massive underground installation and sophisticated technology have generated speculation about whether it serves additional, classified purposes. The construction of IceCube required drilling 86 holes into the Antarctic ice, each extending to depths of 1.45 to 2.45 kilometers. The precision required for this operation and the advanced technology employed suggest capabilities that could theoretically be used for purposes beyond neutrino detection. Some researchers have noted that IceCube's detection capabilities could theoretically identify not only cosmic neutrinos but also artificial sources of high-energy particles. If advanced propulsion systems or exotic energy sources were operating beneath the Antarctic ice, IceCube's sensors might detect their signatures. The observatory's location at the geographic South Pole places it at the optimal position for monitoring the entire Antarctic continent. The detector array's three-dimensional configuration provides directional sensitivity that could theoretically track the movement of subsurface objects or energy sources throughout the region. Personnel working at IceCube and the nearby Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station have reported unusual electromagnetic readings and equipment malfunctions that don't correlate with known cosmic phenomena. These anomalies sometimes coincide with periods of increased activity in other parts of Antarctica. The extreme isolation of the South Pole Station and the IceCube facility provides ideal conditions for conducting classified research activities alongside the official neutrino detection mission. The logistical challenges of reaching the location and the presence of sophisticated monitoring equipment create a controlled environment suitable for sensitive operations. Leaked communications from South Pole Station personnel describe encounters with unusual aerial phenomena in the vicinity of the IceCube installation. These reports include sightings of lights moving beneath the ice and electromagnetic disturbances that interfere with the observatory's sensitive detection equipment. The construction phase of IceCube reportedly encountered unexpected obstacles during drilling operations. Some drill teams reported hitting artificially hard layers in the ice that required specialized equipment to penetrate, suggesting the presence of foreign materials or structures beneath the surface. Data analysis from IceCube has revealed particle signatures that don't match theoretical predictions for cosmic neutrino sources. While officially attributed to unknown cosmic phenomena, some researchers suggest these anomalous readings might indicate artificial particle sources operating in the Antarctic environment. The observatory's communication systems maintain constant contact with laboratories around the world, transmitting vast amounts of data about subsurface conditions throughout Antarctica. This information could theoretically provide real-time monitoring of underground activities across the continent. Underground installations associated with IceCube extend far beyond the detector arrays themselves. The facility includes extensive tunnel systems, power generation equipment, and communication networks that could support operations beyond neutrino detection. Chapter 10. Contemporary whistleblower testimonies in recent years. A new generation of military and intelligence community whistleblowers has come forward with extraordinary claims about UFO phenomena and hidden activities in Antarctica. These testimonies, delivered before Congress and in classified briefings, have lent new credibility to decades of speculation about Antarctic mysteries. David Grush, a former intelligence official with high-level security clearances, testified before Congress in 2023 about the existence of classified UFO retrieval programs spanning multiple decades. While his testimony focused on global UFO phenomena rather than Antarctica specifically, Grush indicated that some crash retrieval operations occurred in remote, isolated locations that could include polar regions. The testimony of Luis Elizondo, former director of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, has revealed the existence of government awareness regarding unidentified aerial phenomena displaying technology far beyond current human capabilities. Elizondo's descriptions of UAP characteristics match many historical reports from Antarctica. Intelligence community sources have disclosed the existence of special access programs related to the study of recovered non-human technology. These highly classified programs allegedly involve the analysis of materials and craft that display properties inconsistent with known physics and engineering capabilities. Whistleblower accounts describe the involvement of private aerospace contractors in reverse engineering programs aimed at understanding exotic propulsion systems. The extreme secrecy surrounding these programs and the need for isolated testing facilities would make Antarctica an ideal location for such research activities. Recent congressional hearings have revealed that military personnel routinely encounter aerial phenomena that display impossible flight characteristics, including instantaneous acceleration, silent operation, and the ability to operate both in atmosphere and underwater. These characteristics match many historical reports from Antarctic regions. Former military personnel have testified about the existence of underground facilities dedicated to the study of recovered exotic technology. These installations, described as highly compartmentalized and requiring the highest levels of security clearance, allegedly house materials and craft of non-human origin. The timing of increased whistleblower disclosures coincides with growing international cooperation in Antarctica and expanded human presence on the continent. This correlation suggests that ongoing activities in Antarctica may be connected to broader government awareness of non-human intelligence. Intelligence officials have acknowledged that some UAP encounters involve technology that appears to be centuries or even millennia ahead of current human capabilities. The origin of such technology, whether extraterrestrial or from unknown terrestrial sources, remains a central mystery in current investigations. Classified programs allegedly exist for the study of materials that display impossible physical properties, including metamaterials that manipulate electromagnetic fields in ways that violate known physics. Such materials could explain the unusual characteristics reported in many Antarctic phenomena. The network of current and former military personnel willing to testify about extraordinary phenomena has grown significantly in recent years, suggesting a coordinated effort to disclose information about long-hidden activities. Many of these individuals possess impeccable credentials and have held positions requiring the highest levels of trust and security clearance. Chapter 11. Geothermal Anomalies and Hidden Heat Sources. Recent geological surveys have revealed extraordinary thermal anomalies beneath Antarctica's ice sheet that challenge conventional understanding of the continent's subsurface structure. These heat sources, far more extensive and intense than previously suspected, may explain how liquid water systems like Lake Vostok can exist beneath kilometers of ice. The most significant discovery involves geothermal activity near the South Pole that generates heat flows up to 6 times higher than the global average. This intense thermal activity exists in regions where conventional geological models predict minimal geothermal energy, suggesting unknown heat sources operating beneath the ice. Satellite thermal imaging has identified numerous hot spots across Antarctica where surface temperatures remain significantly warmer than surrounding areas. These thermal anomalies often correlate with locations where unusual structures or phenomena have been reported by researchers and military personnel. The Thwaites Glacier region displays particularly intense geothermal activity that appears to be melting the glacier from below at rates that exceed climate change models. This subsurface heating creates vast networks of meltwater channels and caverns that could potentially harbor hidden ecosystems or installations. Seismic studies have detected acoustic signatures beneath Antarctica that suggest the presence of large hollow spaces warmed by geothermal energy. These cavern systems could theoretically support extensive underground facilities or natural ecosystems that remain ice-free despite the continent's extreme surface conditions. The geographic distribution of geothermal anomalies doesn't follow typical patterns associated with tectonic activity or volcanic processes. Many of the most intense heat sources occur in stable continental regions where geological theory predicts minimal thermal activity. Ground-penetrating radar surveys have revealed subsurface temperatures that remain above freezing at depths where conventional models predict permanent ice. These temperature anomalies create liquid water zones that could support both natural ecosystems and potentially artificial installations. Some geothermal regions display temperature fluctuations that appear to follow artificial rather than natural patterns. These variations suggest possible technological heat sources operating beneath the ice, though official explanations attribute them to previously unknown geological processes. The correlation between geothermal anomalies and electromagnetic disturbances has led some researchers to speculate about the existence of large-scale technological installations that generate both heat and electromagnetic signatures. Such installations could theoretically explain both the unusual thermal patterns and the electronic anomalies reported by research personnel. Antarctic research stations have reported equipment malfunctions and electronic interference that increase in intensity near regions of high geothermal activity. These electromagnetic anomalies suggest that whatever creates the thermal signatures may also generate advanced technological signatures. Chapter 12. Ancient Climate Data and Lost Civilizations. Ice core data from Antarctica provides a detailed record of Earth's climate spanning hundreds of thousands of years, revealing periods when the continent experienced dramatically different environmental conditions. These climate reconstructions show that Antarctica has undergone numerous warming cycles that could have supported advanced ecosystems or even civilizations. The most significant warm period occurred during the Eocene epoch, approximately 50 million years ago, when Antarctica supported lush temperate forests with diverse plant and animal life. However, more recent warming events have occurred within the time frame of human civilization, raising intriguing possibilities about Antarctic habitability. Research has identified several interglacial periods during the past million years when significant portions of Antarctica were ice-free and potentially habitable. The most recent of these warm periods occurred approximately 125,000 years ago during the last interglacial, when sea levels were 6 to 9 meters higher than today. Paleoclimatic evidence suggests that West Antarctica may have been largely ice-free as recently as the medieval warm period, approximately 1000 to 1200 C, when global temperatures were significantly higher than today. This timing coincides with the peak of several advanced human civilizations worldwide. Archaeological investigations in Antarctica have been severely limited by international treaty restrictions and extreme environmental conditions. However, the few studies conducted have revealed surprising evidence of past environmental conditions suitable for human habitation. Fossil discoveries in Antarctic sediments include pollen grains from flowering plants, insect remains, and other biological materials that indicate much warmer conditions existed within the past several thousand years. These findings suggest that parts of Antarctica remained habitable far more recently than previously believed. The rapid retreat of certain Antarctic ice shelves in recent decades has exposed previously buried landforms and geological features. Some of these revealed landscapes show evidence of water erosion patterns and sediment deposits that could only have formed under ice-free conditions. Genetic analysis of Antarctic extremophile organisms has revealed surprisingly high levels of biodiversity and evolutionary adaptation. This biological complexity suggests that Antarctica's isolated ecosystems may have had access to more diverse environmental conditions than current climate models indicate. Sonar surveys of subglacial lakes have identified sediment layers that preserve detailed records of environmental conditions spanning millions of years. Analysis of these sediments reveals evidence of periodic warming events that created extensive ice-free regions across the continent. The discovery of ancient shoreline features beneath the ice suggests that Antarctica experienced significant sea level changes within human historical timeframes. These shorelines could potentially preserve archaeological evidence of human presence during warmer climatic periods. Chapter 13. The Antarctic Treaty and Hidden Agendas. The Antarctic Treaty of 1961 established Antarctica as a scientific preserve and prohibited military activities on the continent, but the motivations behind this unprecedented international agreement may have been more complex than publicly disclosed. The timing in terms of the treaty suggests that major powers may have encountered phenomena in Antarctica that required unprecedented cooperation and secrecy. The treaty negotiations began shortly after several nations conducted major Antarctic expeditions that ended under mysterious circumstances, including Operation Highjump and subsequent Soviet, British, and Argentine missions. The urgent international cooperation that produced the treaty suggests discoveries that transcended national security interests. The treaty's specific prohibition of military activities and nuclear testing in Antarctica was unusual for the Cold War era, when both superpowers were actively militarizing space and other frontier regions. This cooperation suggests that all major powers had compelling reasons to prevent military competition in Antarctica. The treaty's provisions for inspection rights and scientific cooperation created an unprecedented framework for international monitoring of Antarctic activities. This framework allows signatory nations to observe each other's activities while maintaining official civilian cover for potentially sensitive operations. Classified documents from the treaty negotiation period remain largely sealed, despite the passage of over 60 years. The continued classification of these materials suggests that the motivations for the treaty involved information that national security agencies consider still sensitive. The treaty's establishment of multiple territorial claims and suspension created a unique legal framework that effectively places Antarctica under international control while allowing individual nations to maintain research stations. This arrangement facilitates both cooperative research and compartmentalized classified activities. The timing of the Antarctic Treaty coincided with the beginning of serious government investigation into UFO phenomena and the establishment of classified programs to study unexplained aerial objects. This correlation suggests potential connections between Antarctic discoveries and broader awareness of anomalous phenomena. The treaty's scientific cooperation provisions have facilitated information sharing about Antarctic discoveries while providing cover for more sensitive investigations. The framework allows nations to coordinate responses to discoveries while maintaining official scientific explanations for public consumption. Recent expansions of the Antarctic Treaty System have included increasingly detailed environmental protection measures that some researchers interpret as efforts to limit unauthorized access to specific regions of the continent. These restrictions effectively create secure zones around areas of potential sensitivity. The involvement of intelligence agencies in Antarctic operations, despite the treaty's civilian character, has been documented through leaked communications and personnel records. This intelligence presence suggests ongoing activities that extend beyond the treaty's official scientific mandate. Chapter 14. Sleep Stories from the Ice. Personal accounts. The psychological effects of Antarctica's extreme environment have produced countless accounts of unusual experiences that blur the line between reality and hallucination. Personnel stationed at research bases report encounters with phenomena that challenge conventional explanations, often occurring during the long polar nights when isolation and extreme conditions affect human perception. Winterover personnel at McMurdo Station and other Antarctic bases describe a phenomenon known as the Big Eye, where individuals develop heightened sensitivity to unusual visual and auditory phenomena during the months of polar darkness. These experiences often involve sightings of lights, objects, or movement in areas where no human activity should occur. Medical personnel report an unusually high incidence of shared dreams and synchronized experiences among Antarctic station crews. These collective experiences often involve encounters with unknown entities or visions of hidden structures beneath the ice, suggesting either psychological phenomena or actual exposure to unusual stimuli. Radio operators describe receiving communications on frequencies that shouldn't carry signals at Antarctic latitudes, including transmissions in unknown languages and electronic signals that don't match any known communication protocols. These anomalous communications often occur during periods of increased aurora activity and magnetic disturbances. The extreme isolation of Antarctic bases creates ideal conditions for psychological phenomena, but personnel with extensive polar experience distinguish between isolation-induced hallucinations and genuine anomalous encounters. Veterans of multiple Antarctic deployments report learning to identify the difference between psychological effects and external phenomena. Sleep disorders are common in Antarctica due to the disrupted light cycles and extreme environmental stress, but some reported dream experiences involve detailed technical information about underground installations or advanced technology that exceed the dreamers' educational backgrounds. These dreams often prove to be remarkably consistent across different individuals. The cultural tradition of storytelling during the long Antarctic winters has preserved accounts of unusual encounters spanning decades of human presence on the continent. These oral traditions maintain detailed descriptions of phenomena that have remained consistent across different generations of Antarctic personnel. Personnel report that certain areas of Antarctic bases experience equipment malfunctions, electronic interference, and unusual atmospheric effects that create zones of unexplained activity. These areas often coincide with underground facilities, communication equipment, and power generation systems. The extreme quiet of the Antarctic environment allows personnel to detect subtle sounds and vibrations that might go unnoticed in more populated environments. These acoustic phenomena include mechanical sounds from beneath the ice, rhythmic vibrations, and complex harmonic patterns that don't match any known natural processes. Weather observers report atmospheric phenomena that don't correspond to standard meteorological models, including unusual cloud formations, electromagnetic effects, and optical illusions that seem to reveal hidden landscape features. These observations often correlate with increased sightings of unusual aerial activity. Chapter 15. The Convergence of Evidence. As we approach the conclusion of our journey through Antarctica's mysteries, the disparate threads of evidence begin to weave together into a pattern that suggests the frozen continent holds secrets, far more extraordinary than conventional science acknowledges. The convergence of historical accounts, contemporary testimonies, geological anomalies, and technological discoveries points toward a reality that challenges our fundamental understanding of Earth's history and humanity's place in the cosmos. The consistency of UFO encounters across different decades, nations, and types of personnel suggests that Antarctica serves as a focal point for phenomena that transcend conventional explanations. From the Deception Island incident of 1965 to contemporary whistleblower testimonies, the reports maintain remarkable consistency in describing technology that displays impossible flight characteristics and appears to be monitoring human activities on the continent. The geological evidence for ancient habitable conditions, combined with the discovery of sophisticated underground ecosystems and geothermal anomalies, creates a framework within which advanced civilizations could theoretically have existed in Antarctica's past. The time frames involved, ranging from millions of years to recent millennia, span periods when both extraterrestrial visitation and unknown terrestrial civilizations remain theoretically possible. The pattern of government secrecy surrounding Antarctic operations, from Operation Highjump through contemporary classified programs, suggests that official sources possess information about Antarctic phenomena that has been deliberately withheld from public disclosure. The convergence of military, intelligence, and scientific resources in Antarctica indicates activities that extend far beyond routine research operations. The technological evidence, including the mass reduction effects reported by C-130 crews, the electromagnetic anomalies detected by research equipment, and the artificial structures identified through satellite imagery, points toward the presence of advanced technology operating in the Antarctic environment. This technology appears to manipulate physical properties in ways that exceed current human capabilities. The historical evidence, including the Piri Reis map and other ancient geographical knowledge, suggests that accurate information about Antarctica's ice-free geography has been preserved through human history, implying either ancient exploration capabilities or access to information from non-human sources. This geographical knowledge correlates with the physical evidence for periods of Antarctic habitability. The biological discoveries in subglacial environments demonstrate that life can thrive in conditions previously thought impossible, expanding the parameters within which both terrestrial and extraterrestrial life forms could potentially exist. The complexity and diversity of these ecosystems suggests that Antarctica's hidden biosphere may harbor forms of life that exceed current scientific understanding. The contemporary context of UAP disclosure and government acknowledgement of unexplained phenomena provides new credibility to historical accounts of Antarctic anomalies. The official recognition that unknown intelligences possess technology far beyond human capabilities validates decades of witness testimonies from Antarctic personnel. Epilogue. Dreams of the frozen frontier. As our journey through Antarctica's mysteries draws to a close, we find ourselves at the edge of a vast frontier where the known world meets the realm of infinite possibility. The evidence we have explored, from declassified government documents to cutting-edge scientific discoveries, paints a picture of a continent that serves as far more than Earth's frozen wilderness. Antarctica emerges from our investigation as a nexus point where multiple mysteries converge: ancient civilizations and modern technology, extraterrestrial visitation and terrestrial secrets, natural wonders and artificial installations. The consistency of reports across decades and the credibility of witnesses ranging from decorated military officers to respected scientists suggests that beneath the ice lies a reality that official sources have barely begun to acknowledge. The patterns we have traced, the geometric structures beneath the ice, the impossible flight characteristics of observed phenomena, the technological capabilities that exceed known physics, point toward the presence of intelligence and technology that transcends current human understanding. Whether this intelligence originates from extraterrestrial visitors, ancient terrestrial civilizations, or unknown contemporary sources, its presence in Antarctica appears to be both ongoing and significant. The geological evidence for periods of Antarctic habitability, combined with the discovery of extensive subglacial ecosystems and geothermal anomalies, creates a framework within which extraordinary possibilities become theoretically plausible. The continent that appears lifeless and barren on its surface harbors hidden worlds of complexity and mystery that science is only beginning to explore. As you drift into peaceful sleep, let your mind wander across the endless Antarctic landscape where ice meets sky in perfect silence. In this realm of eternal winter, where the aurora australis dances across star-filled skies and ancient ice preserves secrets spanning millions of years, the greatest mysteries may still await discovery. Perhaps in your dreams you will soar above the glacial mountains and frozen valleys, witnessing the hidden wonders that lie beneath Antarctica's pristine surface. In the depths of the subglacial lakes, in the warmth of the geothermal valleys, in the geometric structures that pattern the ice, you may glimpse truths that transcend the boundaries between the possible and impossible. The mysteries of Antarctica remind us that our planet still holds secrets that challenge our understanding of reality itself. In this land where time moves slowly and silence speaks volumes, where the past and present converge in formations of ice and stone, we find not answers but better questions about our place in a universe far stranger and more wonderful than we have yet imagined. Rest now in the quiet knowledge that mystery surrounds us, that wonder awaits beyond the horizon, and that in the frozen heart of Antarctica, the greatest adventures in human understanding may still be unfolding. Let the gentle winds of the polar plateau carry you into dreams where anything is possible, where ancient wisdoms whisper through the ice, and where the future of human knowledge lies waiting to be discovered. In the endless white silence of Antarctica, where stars shine with crystal clarity and time itself seems frozen in perfect stillness, may your sleep be as deep and peaceful as the ancient ice that holds these eternal mysteries. Sweet dreams, explorer of the unknown.